All right, so this is our birth story. It went totally opposite of what we had planned. We wanted unmedicated birth at the birth center, and it was a total opposite. We gave birth in the hospital, and I got a C-section, so not planned at all. But at the end of the day, we got this beautiful baby boy, Riker. Yeah, born on August 9th, 2019 at 3:46 p.m. He was 8.9 pounds, 21 inches, 21.5 inches. Yeah. And now he's 3.5 months old. So this is our birth story. I was basically 41 weeks and we had to do a lot of natural interventions, which I talk about in this video. I had to do like binding of my stomach. I did, nipple stimulation, and then I did the castor oil, and that's pretty much what did it, because I went into labor on Tuesday evening at 9 p.m. I went into labor and I had really severe cramps and basically labored at home for 2 days. And then on Thursday morning, my doula came over and we labored at home for a few hours. And then in the morning, about 9 o'clock, we headed over to the birth center and I labored there for a few hours. But my body at that point was so fatigued and tired. I've been laboring for many, many hours. And by Friday, before he was born, I was laboring for 70 hours almost. So no medication, nothing until I got the epidural. So at the birth center, basically, we decided we got to head over to Hoag Hospital so I can get epidural so that way I can sleep because the pain was keeping me up. So basically, we went to the hospital and then we stayed there Thursday night. And then Friday early morning, I think it was like 12 in the morning or something, I don't remember. My water broke by itself. And then I was dilating and I was progressing pretty well. And then the next morning, I was fully dilated at 10 centimeters. And then we started pushing and I did really awesome pushing, like awesome. And then my body shut down again like it did at the birth center, because by that time I've been laboring for 70 hours. My body was so fatigued. I was so tired. I barely had anything to eat. Didn't have much to sleep. So my body was just like, I'm done. And then me mentally and physically and emotionally, I was done too. So they were really worried that when it was the critical time to push for him coming down the birth canal, that it could be really dangerous for him. And so we just didn't want to have to do an emergency C-section. So we decided to do a C-section before we had to do an emergency one. And so they got the OR ready. We went to do the C-section and it was really difficult C-section. There's no video of this obviously, but my husband was next to me holding my hand and doing a lot of hypnobirthing techniques to help me calm down, because they had numbed me so much that I felt like my throat was closing up and I couldn't breathe and I was hyperventilating. I was really like freaking out and they gave me oxygen. I'm like, I can't breathe. So I basically had my eyes closed and I just was so freaked out. And so my husband had to really calm me down. And he said it took about 10 minutes to really calm me down. And once I was calm, they were able to do the C-section. And I was lucid enough that as soon as he was born and I heard that first cry, I said, oh my gosh, that's our baby boy. And that was really wonderful. And I said, Sean, go be with him. And he said, are you sure? I said, yeah, I don't want him to be alone. So, and then after that, they pumped me up with more drugs because he was out of me and they could give me stronger stuff because I was very nauseous. And I had a lot of like anxiety and I was not feeling well. And then 2 hours after that, so Sean was with Riker. And then about an hour and a half after that is when I met my son for the first time. I didn't want to meet him for the first time when I was drugged up. I really wanted to remember the moment. So he had skin to skin, which was part of our plan, was skin to skin, and for Sean to cut the umbilical cord. Even though they cut it, he kind of like did a ceremonial cutting of the umbilical cords, and then he did skin to skin with Riker, and he said a prayer in his ear. So all that was part of our plan. We were still able to do, and that was wonderful because I wanted skin to skin. I wanted the delayed cords delay, and I also wanted the prayer. There's a Baha'i prayer that you say when they're born in their ear. So and skin to skin. So that all happened, and I was so excited. I know, right? And then when I met him, it was wonderful. And so, anyway, 70 hours of labor. We did stuff that was totally opposite of our plan. But at the end of the day, it's not our plan. It's God's plan. It's not the birth plan or our plan. And so at the end of the day, he came out healthy and safe, and that's all that we wanted. That's all we wanted. Didn't matter how we got there. I know. We're so excited about this. So that was our birth story. You're gonna see the videos here of little clips, and enjoy. Okay, bye.